Welcome back to Grade 7 Science. This is lesson number 3.2, Redirecting Water Flow. For centuries, humans have used technology to change ecosystems in order to meet their own demands. Canada's history is a perfect example of this, as dams and machines have been constructed to stop the flow of movement of water in order to build entire communities and businesses. Here's one example. The Hoover Dam was constructed to control floods and provide people in Colorado with more hydroelectric power. However, the Hoover Dam also destroyed a local ecosystem and four species of fish, the bony-tailed chub, Colorado picamino, humpback chub, and razorback sucker, are now endangered. But all of these advances have damaged the natural environment. When trees are cleared, the soil can be washed away by runoff. The fourth movement of soil and rock is known as erosion. Wind and water also contributes to erosion, but it is human activity which has led largely to the destruction of lands which used to sustain wildlife. We actually use a large number of plant products for work and survival. When we burn coal to make electricity or when we drive cars and trucks, we are using plant products. Gasoline comes from oil, which is a plant product. Coal, oil, and natural gas are fossil fuels. Fossil fuels are fuels that came from plants and other organisms that died and decomposed millions of years ago and were preserved under the ground. Fossil fuels come from plankton. Plankton are microscopic organisms that float in bodies of water. Phytoplankton are plankton that use sunlight to make their own food through photosynthesis. And while I'm done talking, you might just want to put the video on pause, just so that you can take a closer look at these examples of a plankton and a phytoplankton. All right, let's move on. In our last class, we read about the carbon cycle and how it must be kept in balance. Burning fossil fuels is actually responsible for threatening the balance of this cycle. See, burning too many fossil fuels causes too much carbon dioxide to be released at once. Plants cannot handle all of the carbon dioxide and are killed. That in turn means that there's less oxygen for us to breathe. And sadly, images like this one here are still all too commonplace today. But it doesn't have to be like that forever. So I want you to put the video on pause so that you can consider this question and write down your response to this. What do you think we can do to stop situations like this? All right, and we'll follow up on that in tomorrow's class. But moving ahead, when we create carbon dioxide by burning fossil fuels, we are creating greenhouse gases. Scientists came up with this name because greenhouse gases have the same effect as the windows of a greenhouse. The windows of a greenhouse trap heat energy inside the greenhouse, and the plants use the energy to grow. Greenhouse gases trap the heat from the sun and cause the atmosphere to hold in more heat than is natural. But unlike the windows of a greenhouse, greenhouse gases do not allow the extra heat to escape. This is why scientists fear that the creation of too many greenhouse gases will cause an unhealthy rise in global warming. There's one more thing to remember about fossil fuels. They are non-renewable, which means that once they're all used up, they are gone forever. Fortunately, we can allow the fossil fuels we have now to grow by keeping the carbon cycle in balance. This allows new plankton to grow and help create fossil fuels after they die. So just keep that in mind next time you're enjoying an episode of SpongeBob SquarePants. And guys, just in closing, at the start of tomorrow's class, I want us to spend some time talking about at least 3 things we learned from watching this video here. Okay, so when I'm done talking, please put the video on pause so that you can write down 3 things that you learned or 3 things that you think were important that were mentioned in this video. If you don't feel prepared to do that, it means you need to go back and watch this video at least one more time, and then when you're ready, please put the video on pause. All right, and as always, I look forward to hearing everybody's insights on this video and the questions that I've left for you. But until we meet again, this concludes today's video.